G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. I do hope you're having a fantastic day. Now sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie, and let's get right into it. Posted by user FinancialCherry9302, titled, Am I the asshole for telling my wife that we are not going to pay our fair share for her parents' assisted living? This whole situation has gotten way out of hand to the point that everyone is yelling at everyone, and I'm sleeping in the guest bedroom. My wife's parents are at a point in their lives where they can no longer live by themselves. Their children decided the best place for them is an assisted living facility. They started to look into different facilities, and admittedly, I didn't help because I figured the 5 adult siblings could handle it, and I was never close to my in-laws. They found one that was perfect, and my wife was very excited when she told me about it. I was less than thrilled when I found out our contribution will be roughly $3,000 up front and then $5,000 a month. I immediately questioned why it cost roughly $15,000 up front and $25,000 a month for 2 people in an assisted living apartment. I admit, I sarcastically asked if their apartment is next door to Elon Musk's parents. She then told me that we are going to cover the lion's share of the costs because we make more than her siblings. That was the beginning of a week of texts, phone, and in-person arguments. She argues that her siblings make less money combined than we do, and some are single, so it would impact them more, so it's only fair that we pay more. She also argues that this facility is not the best or most expensive, it's a mid-tier one with their best ratings. According to her, anything lower has bad ratings and could put her parents' safety in jeopardy. My argument is that there are 5 siblings, so the cost should be divided equally between the 5 of them. I also argued that if 5 people can't afford that place, they need to lower their standards. That started a circular argument for hours between cost and safety. I couldn't take it anymore, and in the heat of the moment, I yelled, "We don't make more than your brothers and sisters, I make more than all of you, which is why you want me to cover the cost of your parents." That was the beginning of my night sleeping in the guest bedroom. I know, as a married couple, I shouldn't consider mine and yours income, but realistically, I do make more than all of them, and I think it's unfair to make me pay the largest portion. What do you all think? I think she made a unilateral decision and didn't let you know until everyone else had agreed upon what you were going to pay. I think you have every right to be pissed off in this situation, and I do think you have every right to yell at her in this situation because what the hell, man? I'd be just as pissed off as you are in this situation because that's a lot of money, and that seems like way more money than these people are having to pay themselves. I want to know how much each of these siblings are having to fork over compared to how much you are having to fork over. Your wife is being incredibly unrealistic in this circumstance, and you are being more than taken advantage of. Not the asshole OP. In the comments, Zookeeper007 says, I'm pretty sure alimony would be cheaper. Not the asshole. Either that or pay for a live-in carer. If that doesn't work, they have no choice but to sell the property. No reason for them to assume that OP should be financially responsible for their parents. Why doesn't the brother who will be living in the house who can't afford more than $300 become the carer? I bet he would do it for less than $10K a month. In all fairness, depending on what the health of the parents is like, he might not be qualified to take care of them. For instance, when my nana's dementia had progressed to a certain point, my mother and aunts and uncles, who had been alternating her care amongst the family, suddenly found themselves at a loss as she became unable to do more things, but also she became emotionally and even physically abusive to them, no longer able to understand what was happening to her and why. So it highly depends on their conditions whether or not a regular person can adequately care for them. Not the arsehole. The fact that you were left out of a decision process and then expected to pony up the equivalent of a $700,000 mortgage payment is a really unreasonable ask. The cost should be split evenly. If it can't be afforded, then they need to find a cheaper place. I would not be a part of a family that uses, just marry a guy who makes a lot of money and have him pay for it, as their long-term parents' care plan. There is definitely a lack of communication here. The parents' financial situation should have been a point of discussion for years leading up to this. There should be no untouchable assets before the parents get to the point of relying on the charity of others. They are not pleasant conversations, but they need to be had by everyone involved. The wife needed to insist on checking with you prior to any decisions. Even if she was the primary earner, these are conversations that have massive consequences on the household. People in proper relationships make these decisions together. As for the house, if selling is a deal breaker, then there is a whole bunch of other options that need to be discussed. Maybe it gets refinanced, or there is an asset transfer. Maybe the one brother finds his own place and they rent it out and use that to bring down costs a bit. Not great options, but at least exploring it shows that people just didn't dump the problems on the richest sibling's spouse. And Call Me Baby 92 says, not the arsehole. Of course, in a marriage, there shouldn't be a mine and yours argument going on, but the fact that your wife agreed to pay more, knowing it's coming out of your income, isn't acceptable. It is not your parents. If the 5 siblings single-handedly cannot afford it, it is too expensive. I could never imagine paying so much, and I also have 4 siblings. None of us could afford that, single or married. Not your parents, not your problem. Either they find a cheaper option, or they divide it equally under the 5 siblings, no spouses. Update. I'm going to answer some questions. 1. I assumed it was $25,000 a month because I assumed that it was split 5 ways between the siblings, and our share was $5,000 a month. It'll be closer to $10,000 a month, and our share is $5,000. 2. Her parents have assets, including a house, so I was told they don't qualify for government assistance. I brought up the idea of selling their house, but was shot down immediately. The siblings want to keep the house in the family because their great-grandfather built it or something. 3. I can afford to pay it, but I don't want to based on principle. Their division means I'll be paying $5,000 a month, while the youngest brother will be paying only $300 a month and will be living in a house. Their thinking is that he'll be paying the insurance and taxes on the house, so he can't afford more than $300. Another update. 4. I'm the only child to my parents. While they planned out their retirement, they worked their entire lives to put me through school and supported me through several degrees. I will be solely responsible for and will make sure their remaining days will be comfortable. 5. Per your suggestion, I asked my wife that if we're going to contribute this much to her parents, how they're going to contribute to my parents when their time comes. She answered, "Oh, don't be an idiot. That's an entirely different situation." 6. I don't want ownership of their house because it's very old and needs major work. I brought up the idea of selling the house again, and it was shot down again. They are not budging on it. 7. None of us knows the laws and regulations when it comes to this, so I finally got her to agree for us to sit down with an estate attorney. And 8, unless I feel up to it, this is probably the last update. I feel completely emotionally drained. I always knew my parents would get old, but I never thought about it. And I guess to just round this one out, that point number 5, don't be stupid, this is an entirely different situation. If she said that to me, I'm like, no, I'm not paying anything towards your parents then. Double standards and whatnot, huh? So it's cool that I give a gigantic chunk of money to your parents every month indefinitely, but if your siblings have to give anything to my parents' retirement, that's suddenly a bridge too far? Get absolutely screwed, you know? All I can hope is that OP stands their ground in this one and does what is best for themselves. Unexposed is by user SadAccess1721, titled, My Sex Addiction is Ruining My Life. Apparently NSFW, I don't know what the trigger warning is going to be. I, male 24, have been diagnosed with compulsive sexual behavior. I see people online saying that they have hypersexuality, but they never dive deep into what it actually is. Up until a few months ago, I couldn't get shit done, I couldn't do things I like, and I couldn't keep stable relationships because I feared I might cheat on them. I self-pleasured constantly, I watched a ton of Pornhub, and at that point, it's almost all I thought about. I'm a software engineer, and while I'm doing my work, that is the only time I don't think about it. I like my job, but for a while, my addiction has been seeping into my work too. I almost got caught self-pleasuring in the bathroom. I've most likely had sex with over 100 people. It makes me feel disgusting and unlovable, though no one would be able to tell because of how plain I act. I am seen as a very dry person with a monotone voice. Okay, before you come at me, this is not me. I didn't write this story, okay? I'm here to beat the accusations. This is not a Marky self-post. Though, as of late, I have been watching this girl. She hangs out with my roommate and friend often. She came into my room once after mistaking it for my roommate's. She took some socks from my drawer when I caught her. For context, my roommate dropped juice on her and it soaked into her socks. She's really sweet and has been making a lot of effort to try and get to know me, even baking me sweets and randomly talking to me when she comes over. I really like her and have been thinking of her non-stop. I want to ask her out, but there is no reason not to. I'd screw it up, so it motivated me to try to get some help. I'm doing the therapy, doing the program, participating in groups, and have been medicated. I've been doing this for 6 months. It's been absolutely killing me. I'm really trying. I asked my therapist if maybe I should attempt to ask the girl out, and she told me that it'd be a bad idea, and if it went south, it could make me rebound. Now I just found out that some guy likes her, and now I'm afraid of losing her. I've been keeping her close to me this whole time to keep some type of relationship with her. It's killing me because my illness only has a 5% recovery rate. Though I feel like I am truly getting better. My self-pleasure amount has gone down significantly. My libido has definitely been lowered too, most likely because of the meds. I just want to ask her out, but my therapist told me that I need to stop using her as a motive because it's a danger to my recovery. Maybe I do, but I just wish I didn't have this. I'm probably shortening this situation a lot, but it is a lot. Edit, I'll wait to ask her out. I was going to do that anyway. I just felt some type of way last night, though some of the comments really gave me a different point of view. I'll start trying to change my goal in my mind. Most likely change my goal to bettering myself at work, because as I said, I love my job and I love the people that I work with. I don't want to lose my job over my problem. I'll update in a few months hopefully. Maybe 6? Not saying I'd be fully cured by then, but I'm definitely halfway there so far. In the comments, Ambitious Mud says, I genuinely think you should wait and that your therapist is right. You should be doing this for yourself. I know that it'd be hard since she was the original goal. I still think you can do this though. You've already succeeded in so much. Maybe wait a few more months and see where you are before you speak about it again. And OP replies, yeah, you're right. I think I will. The last thing I want to do is rebound because if I do, it won't matter if she dates someone or not. But yeah, she is my original goal. Please think about her in this. You want to ask her out, but what does she want? There is no guarantee that asking her out will end in her saying yes. There is no guarantee that she is looking to date anybody at all, and there is no guarantee that she isn't already seeing people that you don't know about. You aren't with her 24/7, so how would you know? She doesn't have to tell people she's seeing someone casually before making it official. This woman owes you nothing. She didn't ask for you to do this. She didn't ask for you to make her your goal. She isn't a goal. She's a person. She may be going on dates, or she may have no interest in dating anybody at all. Your therapist is right. Her being your goal is not healthy or productive for your own wellness because this woman has made no promises of being with you if and when you are ready, when you're recovered, or for any other reason. She is not yours just because you want her to be, and you are not losing her because she is a person and people are not property. I'm glad that having romantic feelings for a woman instead of purely sexual feelings has made you want to get better, but her being a nice person and you trying to get better doesn't give you dibs. Even if you didn't have this addiction, there is no guarantee that you'd end up in a relationship with her, and part of your journey to wellness is realizing that. Another part of your journey is realizing that by making her a goal, you are objectifying her and taking away her choices, because if she says no to you, suddenly she's the bad guy for making you relapse. Listen to your therapist. They probably went into thousands of dollars of crippling student debt just so that they have the education and knowledge to give you professional advice. Please do not delete this post or edit it in any way and show it to your therapist at your next session. It's important if you want to recover. OP replies, the crippling student debt part made me laugh. Also, I guess I was being a bit obsessive. Well, really obsessive. I think I'm going to try and change my goal. I don't feel like I can automatically change the goal of recovery because I want to better myself. A big part of why people can't or won't recover from this is because they don't feel worthy. So I think maybe I can change my goal to better my work at my job because I feel like that would be more attainable for my mind right now. Seeing her as a goal takes away that she's an actual person. You were definitely right. Though at least she helped me get on track, even if she doesn't know it. She actually invited me to hang out tomorrow with others. I usually say no, but I feel like I should try to hang out around more people other than her. I will show this post to my therapist. I see her in 2 days. Update. My sex addiction is ruining my life. My friend has betrayed me. So it's only been about a month since I made the last post, but something scary happened 2 weeks ago, and I don't know whether to think that it's a bad thing yet. Backstory for those who don't want to read my last post, but I have a sex addiction. I have been working at recovery for about 7 months. So far, 4 months without a hookup, and 2 months without watching porn. I only started doing this because I feel in love with a girl, but I knew I'd never be able to have a relationship with her if I stayed like this. Though, as advised in my last post, I should change my goal, and I have. Though I am still good friends with the girl. Anyway, I have 2 best friends. The friend in question, who I am extremely upset at, has been my friend since I was 13. Let's call this friend John. John has been one of my most trusted friends, and recently, I've been in a rut and thought that maybe having some support from a friend would help. So I told John everything. John, from what I saw, took it well and offered his ear whenever I would need it. I also told him that I've slept with over 100 people, which was the only thing that I could visibly see that off-put him. I told him I just wanted my life back on track so I could be normal and get to the true place that I want to in my field of work. This is where the problem happens. A few days later, I go and hang out with him, my roommate, and the rest of the group. This group includes the girl who I will call Katie. Katie has been giving me weird looks the whole time that I was there and is avoiding talking to me. I go to my roommate and ask if Katie is okay, and he just gives me this look of sadness. He brings me into a room away from everyone and tells me that John told everyone, including Katie, about my sex addiction and how I've slept with over 100 people, how I am disgusting, and even almost got caught masturbating at my job. He also failed to tell them that I was getting intensive help for my issues, but what he did tell me was that I had a major crush on Katie and had been masturbating to her Instagram photos, which I certainly did not. I would never violate her like that. He also told them not to tell me because we shouldn't shame him for his mental illness. I get upset and tell my roommate that yes, I do have a sex addiction, and that yes, I did almost get caught trying to masturbate at my job, but I never masturbated to any photos of Katie, and I'm getting intensive help with my issues. I also told him that I've been taking Prozac, which has lowered my libido by a lot in the last coming weeks. I've been getting help for 7 months. He tells me that he believes me, and I thought, wow, I thought he'd think I was lying. He dropped another bomb on me, saying that John has a huge crush on Katie and probably did this to hurt my reputation with her, that he has lived with me long enough to know that I wasn't that shitty, and how he didn't trust John after the way that he exposed my shit like that to the whole group. He asked me that if I'd like, he would help me tell her what happened. He asked John if he could go out and get some beer for us, and John asked me if I'd like to go. Holding back all of my hatred, I told him in a calm voice, "No thanks." He leaves and I walk into my roommate's room. My roommate asks Katie to go speak to him for a moment. She says sure and opens the door to my roommate's room to see me. She gives me an extremely disgusted face, which to be honest, really hurt me. My roommate tells her that John lied to her about what I did and likes her, and that's why he tried to ruin my reputation. She is obviously shocked about this, and then after some more explanation and reasoning from my roommate, apologizes for assuming I was a pervert with a sex addiction, to which I had to prematurely explain to her that yes, I did. I asked the roommate to leave the room for a bit. He does so and closes the door. Katie looks at me and apologizes again for assuming that I would do that to her. I told her that there was no need and people are sick like that. It's not her fault for protecting herself. I then explained that I do have a sex addiction and have been working on progressing to my recovery for 7 months, that I did have sex with over 100 people, and that I did have a crush on her. I didn't tell her that she was my goal. I didn't want to put any more weight on her than I already have. I told her that I wanted to ask her out and realized that it would never work because of my issues and how it had got me thinking on how I can't live a normal life in general, how I felt like I'd lose the best job that I'd ever have if this kept up. She completely understood and thanked me for being honest. She told me she actually did have a crush on me, but once John lied to her, she got creeped out. I asked her if she was being truthful about liking me, and she told me she was being serious. She told me it wouldn't be right to date right now because of what's going on with me, and I agreed, though she said that if I do hit a good recovery point, that she would love to go out on a date. I agreed. I don't know if she'll actually wait for me to recover, but it is a nice thought. I will not be rushing my recovery though. I want to be cured sustainably. So, we come out, John isn't back yet, but my roommate has explained to our group of friends of John's lie. Some of them still gave me grossed out faces when finding out about my issue, but the others were very supportive. When John walked in, all hell broke loose. Katie was screaming at him about how he could betray his friend in need like that, how he was disgusting and selfish, and she would never want to be with someone like him. My roommate laid into him and told him that he wasn't welcome in his apartment anymore. My other friends who were there also cast him off. It feels like my support group has grown from 1 to 7, though losing a lifelong friend is definitely hurting me. My other best friend, who was friends with both me and John, has also cut John off. Apparently John has done something similar to him, just got gaslit into thinking that it was justified. I also have a plant now. It's a bonsai tree. It is thriving, and so am I. I hung out with Katie recently, and that was nice. It's nice to be able to be around people. Since this happened about 2 weeks ago, things are still a bit awkward. John has consistently been leaving me nasty messages, but oh well. I'm still extremely worried though about the future, especially because my business was just thrown out there by someone who was supposed to be my best friend. Hopefully everything goes well. Edit. I just looked at his messages out of curiosity. So I'm bisexual and he knows that. He's just been calling me the F-slur and calling me a thief. How I'll cheat once we start dating. How I should just stick to men and stop being greedy because what woman would love me? I kind of didn't want to block him in hopes of him apologizing and maybe to talk it out, but no. I blocked him on everything and just sent his messages to the group chat that I have with my roommate and Katie, and they are currently clowning him. In the comments, Echo Pudding says, "Whoa, what an effing update, dude. I'm so sorry this happened to you. Very glad that this did not ruin your recovery progress. Friendship betrayals are one of the worst betrayals to me. I'm wishing you well." OP replies, "Yeah, I'm not letting that jerk ruin me. Thanks, man. Best of luck with your recovery. Glad to hear everyone around you that matters is being supportive. Look, on the bright side, with John being exposed like the manipulator that he is, you don't have to worry about him making it hard whenever you struggle. Addictions are a hell of a thing to beat, and it won't be easy, but us internet strangers believe in you." Quote, "I also have a plant now. It's a bonsai tree. Also, I love this random addition. Welcome to the bonsai gang. My bonsai tree that probably isn't really a bonsai tree and is just some cheap thing that I got at Walmart, but it's been going strong for about 6 years and is more of a small bush now. Small things to care for can really help you in the long run, like with my own depression struggles." And OP replies, "In my last post, it was said that I should get a plant because taking care of something small could help me. So basically what you said. I ended up going to a plant shop and buying the bonsai, then I ordered a book online and have been learning how to care for my beautiful bonsai. I am very happy that I told John when I was in a better stage of recovery. I am also happy that he exposed himself. So now I can continue my recovery in peace. Thanks for the kind words, stranger." And yeah, I'm very happy for you too, OP. John is an absolute piece of garbage for what he's done to you. The fact that he can be there alongside you for the majority of both of your lives, and then turn this around on you in order to get a girl, and then expect everyone not to say anything about it, is absolutely insane. It's just a girl. Jesus, man. OP, are we sure that you're the one with the mental illness here and not John because he's willing to go to such extreme lengths over just a person? He's the one exhibiting some absolutely insane mental illness if you ask me. Anyway, that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.